All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us through the commercial break. We want to thank all of our listeners. Without you, we couldn't do what we do. Thank you very much for tuning in. Some of the liberal lies that they tell you is that if you ban guns, crime, violence, and murder all go down. And, in fact, gun-related violence will go down. Now, the problem is they always compare foreign countries to the United States. And there's always all kinds of factual errors in these discussions. There's all kinds of cultural norms that really don't cross over very well. And in fact, if you look at this Australia gun ban, that's one thing all the liberals point at. They go, look at that. They bought back all the guns. They banned all the guns. They did all kinds of different things with them. And look, their murder rate fell. Their crime rate, violent crime rate fell. Here's what the problem is. We didn't ban guns, and our murder rate fell at the same rate the Australians did. And in fact, before they banned the gun down in Australia, excuse me, their murder rate was falling anyway. So they didn't really gain anything. They just made the government much more powerful and took away the people's ability to own private weapons, be able to protect themselves. That's all there is to it. Then they talk about these other countries. Well, if you look at Russia, which bans personal weapons, murder rate's much higher than it is here. It is astronomical. If you look at Ukraine, same thing. If you ban weapons, then pretty soon you're defenseless. That's what happened with there's a lot of things with Ukraine, but yeah, murder exceeds what we have. There's a very... there's a study by Harvard University that basically says that the murders and suicides didn't plummet in Australia after 1996 gun ban. It focuses solely on firearm-related murders and suicides. They found a marked decline, up to 20%, and that's exactly what we had. America was more than doubling how many firearms it was manufactured at the same time, and was seeing nearly an identical drop in gun homicides. The problem is every time you compare a country that has banned weapons, America is seeing the same kind of decline, and we haven't banned weapons. The other thing that I want to talk about is this Harvard study really goes into great detail about really has anything changed for these countries that have banned weapons. Well, what has changed for these countries that have banned weapons is their rate of violent crime has gone up. Now, the rate of gun crime and murder has gone down, right? Just like the United States. But unlike the United States, violent crime went up. Rapes went up. Which is one of the most horrible forms. Honest to goodness, I'd rather be shot, than raped. Rape skyrocketed. Breaking and entering skyrocketed. Violent robberies skyrocketed. Smash and grab robberies skyrocketed. All these things skyrocketed. Is there a link? Yeah, skyrocketed everywhere in Australia. At the same time, the crime rate really is falling here in America. Why is that? Well, if you take guns from people that obey the law, the people that don't obey the law still have guns. And people that aren't going to obey the law are more likely not to obey the law than people that do obey the law. Right? It's not that difficult. It's very straightforward. Another reason that why I think this gun control thing is loony really has to do with how the media covers these things. Every time there's a mass shooting, it just goes hysterical, just insane. Oh my God, it's so awful. Oh, the gun is so terrible. Oh, we need to get rid of it. You got all kinds of Facebook memes. And Lefty and I don't talk about it very much. We try not to get into it when it's there. But the bottom line is, and he gets angry when I say this, and we're going to talk about how to combat an angry liberal here in a couple of segments. But he gets mad. He goes, oh, this, that, and the other, and oh, my God. And they get so upset and frustrated. In fact, last week we tuned in for Ed Fallon. You saw exactly the same thing. It's amazing what they do. They're so predictable. Well, the bottom line is every mass shooting does happen in a gun-free zone. All right? Name a mass shooting that's happened at a gun show or at a shooting range. That never happens. There's too many guns. Too many people get shot. Always happens in a school, which is a gun-free zone, which is why they get picked, because they're vulnerable. Theaters that ban weapons, like the Aurora shooter. At congressional parades and outings, like Gabby Giffords. But every single one of them was in a gun-free zone. Every single one. Now you might go, well, hold on, what about military-based shootings? Yeah, that's the dumbest thing ever. Bill Clinton upheld this rule that is stupid, that military folks shouldn't have weapons on base. If you can't train your people well enough in the military, then maybe we should spend more money on military training. When you get shot at a recruiting center, right? Those mass shootings, guess what? They're gun-free zones too. So the bottom line is Democrats actually, it's what they want is more government control in their hands and the people's inability to defend themselves. That is what's required. When gun advocates start saying, hold on, this is how Hitler started. This is how Stalin started. This is how Pol Pot started. This is how Ho Chi Minh started. This is how Castro and Che got started. There's a reason we say that, because that's how they got started, right? Which brings me to my next point after this break. We're going to talk about how the history of the U.S. has been rewritten by a bunch of flaming libtards, I'm going to call them, and that what's in the history books today is completely inaccurate. We're going to be back right after this break. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back